Okay, so we are finally to the last video in this series, and recall that we are upgrading Spectrum Protect Plus from version prior to 10.11 to version 10.11, which basically means going from RHEL 7 based servers to RHEL 8 based servers. Again, just a reminder that we have detailed tech notes which I am following, and I would highly encourage you to read those. Really, for this video, we're down in this final step here, which is a detailed SPP migration process. Again, hopefully if you watch the other videos, you know that you must upgrade all the vSnaps first, so that is really a requirement. There's of course some downtime required to do that, so you're probably going to take a gradual methodology for upgrading all of those. You're going to continue to use your Spectrum Protect Plus server while you're doing that. And then now in this last step, you're going to upgrade the Spectrum Protect Plus server to 10.1.11. Again, another reminder, just the minimum levels. You want your vSnaps to be at 10.1.9 and 10.1.10, and your SPP servers to be at 10.9, 1.9 or 10.1.10. We've upgraded to the latest version of 10.1.10 for these demo videos. This is the process that we're going to follow for this demo. So it's the last step in the process. All of our vSnaps are already at 10.1.11. We're going to hold all the jobs and run a final catalog backup job on the old RHEL 7 version of the server. We're going to power off the existing server. We're going to deploy the new RHEL 8 based appliance for Spectrum Protect Plus, that is version 10.1.11. We're going to give it the same host name and IP address. We're going to register the vSnap that contains that last catalog backup and then do a restore of the catalog. And then when we get done, we'll have a 10.1.11 based server that's running RHEL 8, and we'll be ready to start processing with everything at that 10.1.11 level. So let's get started. Okay, so I am now ready to upgrade my Spectrum Protect Plus server itself. And the tech note that I'm going to be following is this tech note on migrating the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus server to version 10.1.11. Now, just a reminder as to where we are. We are still running the server at version 10.1.10, the latest iFix of that. But in an earlier video and for this environment, what we've done is we've gone in and upgraded all of the vSnap servers in our environment to version 10.1.11. So the vSnap servers are already running RHEL 8. We are now ready to upgrade the Spectrum Protect Plus server. As recommended by the tech note, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take a look at my configuration of my Spectrum Protect Plus server. If I've done anything special to it by adding special CPU or memory, I'm going to go ahead and make a note of that and do that to the new Spectrum Protect server that I deployed. I've not done this. I'm using the appliance out of the box, so you would do that in your production environment. You also need to prepare for your networking configuration. I'm going to name my new Spectrum Protect Plus server the same fully qualified domain name and host name as I did the old one. That should be okay in my environment. You would of course need to do some planning for that. Next thing it wants me to do is pause all the jobs on Spectrum Protect Plus. So I'm going to go to my Spectrum Protect Plus server. I don't have any running jobs in this environment because it's during the day. And so I'm going to do a pause all schedules and do an OK. and those schedules should go to held, which they have done. Now, the next thing the TechNote wants me to do is to create a SLA that is specific for backing up this catalog from the Spectrum Protect Plus server. So I'll go over here and I'll go to Manage Protection Policy Overview, and I will create a new policy. I'll add an SLA policy. I'm going to take this first one, which lets me back up the catalog, and I am going to choose a retention. I'll go ahead and leave the retention for 15 days just for safety sake, but I will disable the schedules for that policy. And I'm going to name this migration. And then I'll go ahead and save the migration policy. Just go check it. It is going to a target site, which is primary. So that's okay. And now I'm ready to create and run a backup policy to back up the Spectrum Protect Plus server catalog. So I'll go to Spectrum Protect Plus, backup, and I will scroll down here and I will click on migration and I will do a save. So now the catalog backup will be backed up using that migration policy. I'm now ready to run my catalog backup. So here's my migration. Note it has not run at all. So I'll do an actions and a start. And we'll go ahead and let that policy and that backup run. I'll go ahead and stop the video and resume it when that backup is completed. Okay, that catalog backup is completed. I'm going to go ahead and click on this download and I'll open the file and just take a look at the job log. And that will give me details on the backup of the catalog. Now, note that you will see that I have information here on the volume name and the vSnap server where the backup is placed. And that is just for safety information so that I will know where the catalog backup is when I go to restore it in the new system. I happen to only have one vSnap on this Spectrum Protect Plus server, so I know where the backup is going to be. Okay, so continuing. Here we go with verifying the message. And it wants me to verify that the restore point is visible. So I'll just go ahead and do that just to verify. and I'll click my vSnap, and there is my migration SLA policy and my backup that I created ready to restore on the vSnap. So what I'm going to do now is go and log on to my SPP server, which in my case it's named SPP-SOS, and I'll go ahead and take a look at the IP address, or I'll just go ahead and shut it down from here. Okay, so my SPP-OS system, SPP-SOS system is down now. So that's my old Spectrum Protect Plus server. I'm going to go ahead and import a new one. So I'll go ahead and take the Spectrum Protect Plus 10.1.11 for VMware that I downloaded from Passport Advantage. I'll go ahead and, in tradition for this migration, I'm going to call this the old name with a 1011 appended to it. So I will know what the new system is. I'm going to go ahead and deploy it to my cluster. I know where I got this from, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore the certificate. I got it from Passport Advantage. I'll go ahead and click Next, accept the license terms, pick my data store, and go ahead and provision the disks. Go ahead and pick my distributed switch, and I'll go ahead and set these parameters for networking after I do the install. So I'll click on Finish, and I'll go ahead and stop the video here, and while this is deploying, just take a break and then come back once it's deployed. Okay. Completed deployment. I'm going to go ahead and leave my old RHEL 7 base Spectrum Protect Plus server down, and what I'll do is I will go ahead and boot my new RHEL 8 Spectrum Protect Plus server. When I do that, I'll go ahead and get a console on that, and I like to set my networking parameters from inside the web console. And of course, this is an initial Spectrum Protect Plus server is downloaded from Passport Advantage. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is set the password for this Spectrum Protect Plus server. So we'll go ahead and let that boot. And I'll go ahead and log on for the first time with the default password. Now I'll go ahead and assign a new password. And now I'll go ahead and set up the networking. And in my environment, the only thing I need to set is the host name. And I'm going to call this new Spectrum Protect server the same name as I did with the old one. So my system has been set, and I will go ahead and reboot it. Again. Now, once I do go ahead and reboot this, it is going to have to start up all of the Spectrum Protect Plus server hardware, including the Virgo server. So I am just going to pause the video and wait for that to come back up before I continue. Okay, so my Spectrum Protect Plus server did boot. It took maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and I am going to log in for the first time with username admin and password. This is the default for a new Spectrum Protect Plus server. When I do that, I am going to be prompted to create a new username. So my new username is going to be sppadmin, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a new password. Okay, so now I am logged on to my new RHEL 8 Spectrum Protect Plus server, and this server is of course just a template. It has no jobs or anything defined. In order to restore the catalog, what I'm going to have to do is go down to storage and add the vSnap server where I did the backup on. My vSnap server is vSnap local SOS, and it is in the primary site. The user ID I'm going to use is server admin. The password is bang, right? So there's the username and password that I'm going to use. Now what I've done is I've used FileZilla and I've logged into that vSnap server, went to the etc vsnap SSL directory and downloaded the spp-vsnap.cert certificate to my local machine. And what I'll do here is go ahead and upload that certificate to my new Spectrum Protect Plus server. I will go ahead and get server key, make sure everything matches, and then I'll do a next, and I'll do a submit. And now that should allow me to add the vSnap server that I did the backup of the catalog to. Next thing I want to do is I want to restore the catalog back up to this server. So I'll go ahead and do a restore of Spectrum Protect Plus, which is going to restore the catalog. I'll go ahead and click on this vSnap server, and I should see all of the catalog backups that I had there. And as you can see, I've been running catalog backups for quite a while now, but this latest one I did with the migration SLA policy is out there and ready to be restored. So I'm going to go ahead and click on restore. It's going to ask me, do I want to restore and overwrite the existing catalog in this Spectrum Protect Plus server? I do. And I will go ahead and do the restore the catalog and suspend all scheduled jobs. It's warning me that this is going to overwrite the catalog. I'm okay with it overwriting the catalog, and it has logged me out. Now, what's going to have to happen here is the catalog is going to be restored. The Spectrum Protect Plus server is going to have to be rebooted. So that will take maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is pause the video and come back. And when I log in, I am going to look around, and what I should see is my old catalog that I restored from, and everything should be back in place. So if I check here, I am now running version 10.1.11, build 3010, so that's good. If I go out here and look at my system configuration, storage, and look at my VADP servers, there's my two VADP servers that I started with that is running version 10.1.11. I can go ahead and do a refresh just to make sure those can be seen. And that's all happy. And note that my VADP proxy is defined. So now if I go up to my schedules, I see all of my old schedules that I restored. And sure enough, all of them are held. So I'll go ahead and release all of those schedules so that they can be run. And now my Spectrum Protect Plus version 10.1.11 system is completely up and running, and I'm ready to run my jobs. For my purposes, I'll just go ahead and run a VMware backup and just make sure that everything starts and runs okay. And that'll take a minute or two to run. So we'll go ahead and pause the video and just come back after that runs. Okay, so that did complete. If I look at the job history, I did complete my 5 backups. So that completes my upgrade to version 10.1.11. I hope you found that helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.